Hello all, welcome to the second English video and the first grammar concepts video. Let's have a quick look at what we had discussed last week. An English entrance exam typically has four main types of questions: word meanings based questions, reading comprehension based questions, grammar based questions, and combination types questions. We had established last week in our previous video that your effort is what can help you sail through reading comprehension and vocabulary types questions. You need to read a lot and you need to work on it yourself. However, for cracking grammar type questions, guidance can definitely help. Also, many entrance tests have an interview round and there you may be expected to communicate in correct English. For this, you must know grammar concepts. So here we shall cover a few grammar concepts. Let's just quickly also glance through what are the grammar types questions that are asked. This was also covered in the last week, but just quickly let's quickly glance through. Sentence construct is what you need to know essentially. Subject verb agreement is the most important grammar concept, and many questions are asked on this concept. So what shall we cover today? Sentence construct, types of sentences, and two parts of speeches, nouns and pronouns. Sentence is the atomic unit in English language, and often all grammar questions in an exam pertain to sentence construct. Under this subject, Under this, subject verb agreement is the most important concept. So let us see uh, what do we mean by sentence construct. A sentence is made up of two parts, subject part and predicate part. Subject part is the part that we speak about. It's the karta. Predicate part is the part which tells something about the subject. So everything apart from the subject is the predicate part. Usually the subject and predicate part are separated by a verb. Falls under the predicate part, but that is a good way to understand, good way to identify a subject. A subject and a verb are essential parts of a sentence. So you must have a subject and your predicate part can be just one verb, and that can be a complete sentence. Without either of them, a sentence remains a phrase. That is, it is not a complete sentence. Even if it is conveying complete meaning, it is not complete in itself. While subject and verb parts are necessary, but a sentence often has other components such as an object, a complement, and a modifier. Objects are especially important since they are the nouns or pronouns part on which the action happens. What is a modifier? It's a modifier typically enhances subject, tells something about subject. For example, the tall girl plays basketball. So the tall girl is the subject and the tall part is the modifier part. She writes very well. Well, this sentence has no object. It has a subject, it has a verb. She is the subject, writes is the verb, and writes very well is the predicate part. She writes very well, but it has no object. She loves to play with her sister. She is the subject, loves is the verb part, her sister is the object part in it. Let's move ahead. Let's just see an example. She likes playing with us. She is the subject part, likes playing with us as the predicate part. Let's break up the predicate part a little further. Likes is the verb part, us is the object in this. Now let us attempt a few questions related to subject-verb agreement concept. After explaining each concept, we shall go to subject-verb agreement types questions. As I had mentioned earlier, subject-verb agreement is the most important grammar concept that is from an exam point of view and otherwise also generally. She, fill in the blank, taking her dogs for a walk. She enjoyed taking her dogs for a walk or she enjoys taking her dogs for a walk. She is the subject, verb must agree with the subject. So it shall be she enjoys taking her dogs for a walk. Divya often fill in the blank silly mistakes while writing her exam. What should it be? Make or makes? It should be makes. Divya is the subject and makes is the verb here. They fill in the blanks basketball each evening. Play or plays? They is a plural subject. So we shall use plural form of the verb. So it will be they play basketball each evening. Alright. Now let's understand types of sentences. They're not directly asked in any exam. And if you want to skim through, you might want to skim through this section, but it's a good idea to know. What is a declarative type of sentence? Any statement, any simple statement is a declarative type of sentence. For example, I have bought 2 pens, I was traveling yesterday, etc. What are interrogative type sentences? Questions are asked. They end in a question mark. For example, how many pens have you brought? We've often heard police had an interrogation. So interrogation is basically question. Exclamatory sentences. These sentences express strong emotions. They end in exclamation mark. Wow, what a beautiful pen. Imperative sentences. They ask you to do something. Either that might be a command or it might be a request also. For example, pass me a pen. Please pass me a pen. Go, go. In go, come. In imperative sentences, when you have a single verb, it means the subject is assumed as you. Imperative sentences end in a full stop or in an exclamation mark depending upon the emotions conveyed. Now, there's also another way to classify sentences. Sentences can be classified as simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, or compound complex sentences. Let's see how. If a sentence has one independent clause only, for example, the cuckoo sings, I am a good girl. One single idea is being conveyed in a simple sentence. Compound sentence. Two independent clauses are being conveyed. There's no dependence amongst them except for a normal relation that they might be conveying a similar idea. They are of what's the way to know it's a compound sentence? They are joined by a comma, a semicolon, or an and conjunction. The cuckoo sings and the dog barks. We could have simply said the cuckoo sings, full stop, the dog barks. But sometimes when we are conveying similar ideas, we just club them together and make a compound sentence. Complex sentences. Here, two clauses are there, but they are not independent. One clause depends on another. For example, The dog barks when the cuckoo sings. Which one looks like the independent clause and which one looks like the dependent clause? Well, here the cuckoo sings is the independent clause because the dog barks when the cuckoo sings. The dog barks is actually the dependent clause. We can also write it as when the cuckoo sings, comma, the dog barks. So in complex sentences, there is a dependent relationship between the two clauses. What is a compound complex sentence? There are two compound clauses, two or more compound clauses, or there are two or more complex clauses. Here we've taken in the example we've taken two compound clauses and one complex clause. When it is night and the cuckoo sings, the dog barks. So the dependent clauses, the dogs bark, sorry, plural form of dogs. So verb is bark, plural form of verb bark. The dogs bark depending upon two factors, when it is night and the cuckoo sings. So yeah, now we shall come to the first part of speech that we will cover under grammar section, nouns. What are nouns? Names of people, persons, places, animals, things, feelings, groups, etc. Common nouns are generic names and proper nouns are specific names. With common nouns, we often need to use articles. He is a good boy, he is a boy, she is a teacher. I want to go to the school or a school depending upon what you want to specify, whether you want to go to a specific school or you want to go to any school. So with common nouns, articles are usually required. However, articles are often not seen in front of proper nouns. We don't say I am a Divya, I am a Paras, I am going to a India or an India, considering that it does not start, considering it starts with a vowel. So articles are usually not used in front of proper nouns. However, the is used in front of countries with long names. For example, the United States of America, the United Kingdom. When we refer to China, we don't say the China. However, when we are using the long form of name for China, that is the People's Republic of China, we use the article the here. We say the Ganges, the Yamuna, the Nile. So rivers, in front of rivers also we use the article the. Before names of buildings, specific names of buildings, we also use the. For example, the Statesman Building, the Rashtrapati Bhavan. In front of mountain ranges also we use the. For example, or other such places, the Alps, the Himalayas. Now there's an exception. See, weekdays are also written with a capital letter, and some consider it as a proper noun. Uh, Names of months are also written with capital letters, so as names of planets, names of stars. For example, the we say, and they are also preceded by the Earth, the Mars. They have capital letters. Names of months also have capital letters. They are not preceded by the though. April, May, June, all are written with capital letters. So it is, say, April, Tuesday, moon, the actually. However, when we come to weekdays, They are written with capital letters, but in other ways they are often used like common nouns. We can use a also in front of them. For example, a visitor goes to a clinic and asks, "When can I meet doctor in this clinic?" Receptionist answers him, "You can come over on a Tuesday morning if you want to meet the doctor." On a Tuesday morning, it has been used like a common noun here, but it starts with a capital letter. So there are some exceptions in English language, and these exceptions are important to learn because this is where we find grammar questions coming from. Now, common nouns also have under its umbrella collective nouns and abstract nouns. What are collective nouns? They signify a group, a flock of birds, a shoal of fish, or a school of fish, army, a group of kids, a department. How collective nouns are mostly treated as singular. However, when we are uh, mentioning a divided view amongst the group, then they are treated as plural. So mostly collective nouns are treated as singular, but depending upon if there's a fraction inside the department or they have a divided view about something, then they're treated as plural. Let's explore by way of an example. The police department was conferred the bravery award. That's a full stop. It can be seen that here the police department is being taken as a singular noun, as a group, a collective noun. That's why the verb form was conferred was used. So this subject is police department, was conferred is the verb. So subject verb agreement is there, singular noun and singular verb. However, if we see below, the police were divided about Ravi's role in robbery. Is it wrong? Well, it's not wrong. That means police was internally divided about Ravi's role in robbery, and because a divided view was there, it is being treated as plural. So, plural noun or a plural subject is being used with a plural verb. Subject verb agreement is there in this sentence. Another type of common noun is a abstract noun. Abstract nouns are to convey feelings and emotions. For example, I have lot of love for you. I have lot of respect for my teacher. I I am filled with fear of ghosts. One thing's there, abstract nouns are used often in exactly same way as verbs. I love you. Here, love is not an abstract noun. Here, it is a verb. I respect my teachers. Here, respect is a verb. I fear ghosts. Here fear is verb. However, we had earlier seen abstract nouns. I have lot of love for you. So, their love was noun. Have was the verb there. I have respect for my teachers. There also have was the verb and respect was the abstract noun. I am filled with fear of ghosts. Here, am filled was the verb and fear was the noun. So abstract nouns are almost exactly used in this. Now let's cover subject verb agreement illustration for nouns topic. We shall cover subject verb agreement after all parts of speeches and all major grammar concepts because the subject verb agreement type questions are asked a lot in any entrance exam. Ram and Sham love going to the park. What do you notice? Ram and Sham are being taken as plural, and that is why plural form of verb is used. Ram, along with Sham, loves going to the park. Here, Ram, along with Sham, is being treated as singular form. That's why singular verb is used. Though I would like to mention it is just the noun or a pronoun that immediately precedes the verb that matters in such things. When we are using conjunctions such as together with as well as along with conjunction phrases, it is the noun or a pronoun that immediately precedes the verb uh, that determines the verb form that will be used. Because sham is singular, singular form of verb is used here. So subject verb agreement depends upon which conjunction has been used. We shall explore this more after we've done conjunctions in a future video. Now let's attempt the questions below. High blood pressure and diabetes, fill in the blanks, the affected person more susceptible to emergency hospitalization in case of COVID-19 infection. What should it be? Make or makes? Well, high blood pressure and diabetes. Two conditions are described joined by and conjunction, so it will be treated as plural. So plural form of verb will be used. So make is the correct one. Make. However, if we write the sentence as high blood pressure together with diabetes, which form will be used? Together with is the conjunction and diabetes is singular. So singular form of verb will be used. As we've explained earlier, this is very, very important, and these types of questions are asked in entrance exams. They'll confuse you with the conjunction used. So you have to see the noun, whether plural form of noun is used or singular form of noun, or whether if how are two singular nouns connected, or how if two plural nouns are connected, then it is very simple. We'll always use the plural form of verb. But if that's not the case, then it becomes more difficult. Neither Divya nor Amit is coming or are coming? Is coming. Same reason. Divya is singular, Amit is singular. Neither nor type of conjunction. Uh, again, when we use neither nor type of conjunction, uh, the part of subject, the noun that immediately precedes the verb, is what is seen to determine the verb. Neither Raj nor Simran and Nakash cook or cooks. Here, plural form of verb will be used. Why? Right before the verb, plural nouns have been used. So, while all of this is subject, right before the verb, after nor, plural nouns have been used. And we have to, in such sentences, in such when neither nor, together with, along with type of conjunctions are used, the verb, whether it will be singular or plural, we come to the concept of pronouns. What are pronouns? We all know they are the words that come in place of nouns or noun phrases. For example, I, you, his, her, its, theirs, this, that, etc. There are 8 pronoun types and an adjective type. Uh, to use it correctly, you need not know all of the below, but let's quickly cover it for sake of completion, and it's good to know. What are personal pronouns? They're subject and object form of pronouns. For example, I sing. I is subject. Dance with me. Here, me is an object. Possessive adjectives and personal pronouns. Adjective is actually a word that qualifies a noun. So, my pen. It looks like a pronoun, but it's actually an adjective. A pronoun type of adjective. That is why we've covered it under pronouns. My pen here, my is possessive adjective. However, the pen is mine. Here, mine is a possessive pronoun. Relative pronouns. These show relations. I like the car that you own. My friend Seema, who is very intelligent, is also a good singer. So that and who are actually relative pronouns. It is always a confusion, no? Where to use that and where to use who. There's a simple test for it. If you cannot identify the noun clearly without using that means that is going to be used. I like the car that you own. I don't like any car. I like the car that you own. The car has not been named otherwise. The only way for me to identify the car is that you own. My friend Seema, who is very intelligent, is also a good singer. Here, who is used? Why? Because we've already identified the person. And for that, who is used? In fact, one more confusion is which. In the previous sentence, I like the car which you own cannot is not actually grammatically correct because we use which when we can drop it. For example, Oscar, the dog which you own is very rowdy. Here you use which because you've already identified that by the name of the dog, Oscar. You could have simply said Oscar is very rowdy or your dog Oscar is very rowdy. However, if you are saying the dog that you own is very rowdy, then the dog can be identified uniquely only if you say that you own. Reflexive pronouns. These are to when a person does something for himself, that is where reflexive pronouns come. For example, I bought this dress for myself. I am writing a song for myself. Or I am writing a song about myself. Intensive pronouns. They are uh, they are used exactly like reflexive pronouns in term. Like for example, myself is a reflexive pronoun. It's also an intensive pronoun, but how they are used is different. Intensive pronoun is to give emphasis. Like I myself have done my homework. She herself went to the park, went to the pharmacy shop. It is to emphasize that she herself went. You have to clean your dishes yourself. So all of these are types of intensive pronouns where we are giving the force you have to do it yourself kind of force. However, when we are saying you must buy a book for yourself, then it's a reflexive pronoun. Indefinite pronouns. They do not point to anybody specific. The noun can be any. We don't know who or what the noun is. Some, something, anyone, everyone. There are all types of indefinite pronouns. Often they are used as singular. Everyone is going is correct. Everyone are going is not correct. Is anyone going is correct. Are anyone going is wrong. So again, subject verb agreement comes here. Indefinite pronouns are usually taken as singular subject. Demonstrative pronouns. This and that, these and those. These pronouns should not precede nouns because otherwise they'll become adjectives. Give me this, give me that. Pass me these, pass me those. They are all demonstrative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns. What did you see? When are you coming? Who are you? All these are interrogative pronouns. We want to know a noun by asking these questions. So these are interrogative pronouns. Now we are covering important pronoun types as below. Subject form and object form are the most important pronoun types for us, especially from questions points of view. So we'll take singular first person, singular second person, singular third person, then plural first person, plural second person, and plural third person. I, subject form, object form is me, possessive adjective form, my book kind of thing. My possessive pronoun is this book is mine, for example. Reflexive pronoun is I bought a book for myself. Then singular second person. You shall come tomorrow. You is here the subject form. I am talking to you. You is here the object form. Where is your book? Your is qualifying book. So your is a possessive adjective form of you. This book is yours. Possessive pronoun. Are you speaking with yourself? Reflexive pronoun. Now let's see the third person form. He, she, it. He for boy, she for a girl, it for an object or often an animal, sometimes even for a baby. He is going, she is going, it is going. Object form. Sorry, it is not object form is not his. It is him for he. I was talking to him. I was playing with her. I was playing with it. It can be a dog. Possessive adjectives. It is his book. It is her book. It is its tail. There are no possessive pronouns are also. This book is his. This book is her. This book is hers. This book is hers. But there is no possessive pronoun for say a dog. There is no possessive pronoun for it. Reflexive pronoun is there, of course. He, uh, he he bought a book for himself. She bought a dress for herself. The dog played by itself. So all of these are reflexive pronouns. Hers here. Okay, so we come to the first person plural form we. We were playing. Us object form. She taught us. Us is the object form of we. Possessive adjective. This is our ball. As in we together own this ball. Possessive adjective. Our ball. It qualifies the ball. This ball is ours. We have completed the test ourselves. You. You is the second person plural form. It usually in plural form it means you all actually, but it's referred to you. You gave a good performance yesterday. So subject form. I was teaching you. So here I is the subject and you is actually the object form. It means I was teaching you all, but it is written as you. What is possessive adjective? This is your show. In possessive pronouns, the show is yours. In reflexive pronouns, we actually see the difference compared to singular form of you. Here it is, you should complete your work yourselves when we are referring to plural. Were we referring to singular, we'd say you should complete your work yourself. Though this here reflexive pronoun can be also uh, yeah. So they is the third person plural form. They played very well. We played with them is the object form. We is the subject. We played with them. Them is the object form for they. These are their rackets. There is the possessive adjective that qualifies rackets. The rackets are theirs. They have built a beautiful house for themselves. Common errors in usage of pronouns. Using its when one means its. For example, the dog wagged its tail is correct. It apostrophe s means it is. It is not a pronoun. It's a short form. Its without an apostrophe is the possessive form of it. Possessive adjective form of it. Using ours or theirs with an apostrophe s when one means ours and theirs. Possessive pronouns. Ours is correct. Theirs is correct. It is not our apostrophe s. Their apostrophe s. Actually, ours with an apostrophe s and theirs with an apostrophe s are meaningless. They are senseless words. We can understand why this confusion occurs. For example, we often say Divya's book is with me. To show possession with a noun. However, we have this habit of apostrophe s to show possession and we carry it in pronouns. It is not used in any of the pronouns. Let's get some practice. Practice subject and object forms of pronouns with questions below. Kavita and fill in the blanks conducted the survey. Kavita and me conducted the survey or Kavita and I conducted the survey? Well, conducted is the verb. Subject is usually what precedes the main verb in a sentence. Kavita conducted the survey, I conducted the survey. We together conducted the survey. So, subject form of I will be used. Him and me have been friends for ages, or he and I have been friends for ages. Have been is the verb here. So, subject usually precedes the verb. He and I have been. So, subject form. We went on a picnic or us went on a picnic? We went on a picnic, of course. Subject form. My best friend and Dash got married on the same day. I got married on the same day. My best friend got married, I got married. So, both are subjects. He took Dash for a movie. Me. Here, action is happening on me. He is taking the action. So, me is an object form. So, object form of I is used, which is me. Now, let's attempt some subject verb type agreement questions in respect of pronouns. As I've mentioned earlier, these are the type of questions we shall cover after each concept. Either he or they is lying or are lying. Are lying. Why? They is a plural form of subject and they is the part that is used right before the verb. In subject verb agreement, as we had seen with nouns, in such sentences, either or, neither nor, the part the part of subject that is singular or plural, that is what decides the verb. Right before the verb, the part of subject that is there. Neither they nor he, what should it be? Likes to dance. He precedes the verb that is likes, so likes will be he is singular, likes we use the singular form of verb. He together with her to the to park each day, go to the park. Had it been he and her, he and she, it would have had been he and she go to the park. Here it will be he together with her goes to the park, because together with changes how the verb is used. Whether it will be singular or plural depends on the subject right before the verb. So thank you for watching this video. We shall be back with videos of more concepts, more grammar related concepts for you, uh, other parts of speeches also. Well, that's all for today. Please come back for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the bell icon. Thank you. Bye bye.